Spoiler alert! Yep, I put it in the beginning of the video because my little introduction joke contains spoilers for the latest chapters of My Hero and Black Clover. So now you can't get mad. Everyone is calling My Hero Disney because the once dead Bakugo is now being revived using the power of String Ninja Edge Shot. Look, I figured Bakugo would get revived. Not like that, but yeah, I figured. Good thing that I have this series that is basically My Hero with magic. So if there's another Bakugo situation, they can just use healing magic to revive the person. Because no one has ever had a problem with a character whose main goal is healing does that job. Ahem. Yeah. Alright, jokes aside, it's true. This weird My Hero and Magic combo series is the Hunters Guild Red Hood. Wow, look at that. It's only been a whole year since the last chapter was released. Oh yeah. This manga was cancelled. I do love my fair share of canceled manga, it seems. Shameless plug to another video. So why am I talking about this series so late? Probably a series no one is even worried about. Well, one, I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, so I couldn't. And two, I feel like it's the perfect time for the author, excuse my pronunciation, Yuki Kawaguchi, to give Red Hood another chance. What exactly is Red Hood about though? Spoilers for all 18 chapters of the series. You can still read them on Viz now, so yeah, go do that. I'll put a link in the description below. Red Hood takes place in a fairy tale world, or it's more accurate to say that things that we associate with fairy tales, like werewolves, giants, witches, and so on, exist in this world. We follow our main character, Velo. I feel like I'm mispronouncing it, but I tried to look it up and then I got even more confused, so Velo. Velo lives in the small hamlet of Kasoka Village. When Velo was younger, his parents were killed by a werewolf attack, leading to the mayor and really the whole village to raise him. After some time passes, a string of werewolf attacks causes the citizens to panic, ending up with the mayor calling in a hunter. Hunters are part of the Hunters Guild, crazy right? That are basically mercenaries that hunt down and kill these supernatural monsters. When a young girl in a red hood appears, she introduces herself as Grim, the hunter that they hired. After arguing for a bit, Velo and Grim work together to kill the werewolves that infiltrated Kasoka Village. An impressed Grim tries to recruit Velo to the Hunters Guild, which he declines, wanting to stay in the village and protect the citizens. After literally like 10 minutes, realizing that the citizens all ran their separate ways, Velo takes up the offer, wanting to protect everyone from these types of monsters. Like I said earlier, there are sadly only 18 chapters, and towards the end you can see the story being rushed like crazy. But the ending is the most important part, so I'll briefly talk about the middle and focus on the end. After joining Grimm, Velo is taken to a traveling boot camp run by this absolute perfect unit, Miracle's older sister, Debonair. After making new friends, Velo overcomes the hardships of training in a final test of cops and robbers, basically, and officially becomes a hunter. This is the part where things start getting rushed. We see that the mayor, who was thought to be killed by the werewolf attacks, sitting on like a rock thing with two other characters. He mutters about how it's the right time, and he opens a portal and travels to where Velo was, and opens another portal to an unknown place, taking Velo with him. Things get crazy here, and the main reason why I want this series to come back. We find out that the mayor, or his real name, Geppetto, is actually part of the Red Hoods, a group of higher beings that have control over the book, which changes reality just by writing in it, meaning that everything that happened to every character, their backstories, their lives, have been predetermined, well, everyone except for one person, Velo. It is revealed that Velo was actually created by Geppetto, a living puppet of sorts. Get it? Like Pinocchio? Velo shows his inner anti-magic like Asta, as he has an aura around him that negates the power of the book, meaning the Red Hoods can't control his fate. And with enough time around other people, those people start to negate the book's effect too. Velo then defeats Geppetto using a rifle made out of paper. That's not a joke. It literally happened, and then that's the end of the story. Quite a wild ride, but this concept is such a good idea that I'm so sad. Like, think about how the story could have developed. We see Velo and her hunter friends traveling around the world, defeating monsters, and her negating affect everyone's story would change all the fairy tales that we know to have some crazy twist to them. Remember that the story was rushed, so the big reveal of the mayor and Velo wouldn't have happened until much later if it wasn't cancelled, probably making one of the biggest plot twists. I think the world building aspect would have been so unique. I don't even know all the strange creatures and places in manga using a fairy tale as a base can even come up with. The characters were definitely unique and each had their own personalities that actually worked off each other. Sadly, due to the ending, the story was being super rushed and the characters' backstories were rushed as well. They didn't even get time to explain some of them. But there's one big thing that I want to talk about. This isn't automatically the end for Red Hood. That's what I think, at least. If Yuki Kawaguchi wanted to, I believe he could make another series, a Shippuden or Boruto type thing. But maybe first think this is the actual title of the manga, The Hunter's Guild, Red Hood. It's almost like the first installment of a big series, like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the whole JoJo series. Imagine another manga coming out being called The Hunter's Guild Peter Pan, or The Hunter's Guild Hanzo and Gretel. Obviously, these names are not the best, but the idea is still there. It could be a whole universe with each installment focusing on a different main character, set in the same world or a world adjacent to it. The more I talk about it, the more I'm liking this idea. The storytelling can go any way the author really wants it to go. And with manga nowadays focusing on darker themes, having a dark fairy tale manga is an excellent addition. It could even be another My Hero when that manga ends. Actually, the genre can even shift based on the fairy tale it's focused on. Like Peter Pan is definitely more upbeat than something like Hanzo and Gretel, to use my examples from earlier. Plus, the author was an assistant to Horikoshi, the author of My Hero, which might be the reason why you love the art and find it pretty familiar. Yuki learned under Horikoshi's writing style and also all the things the fanbase do and don't like. With all these factors, he definitely should give the series another chance. I wouldn't be surprised if it's positively received. Also, I'm a sucker for creative ideas. This power system just can't go away. There's an actual magic system in here, and there are weapons based off fairy tales like a wolf muzzle gun that smells and locates people. The coolest power is the fact that some characters, like Grimm and Debonar, were actually cursed by a witch, and after training with their curse, they learned how to control it, allowing Debonar to freely control her body temperature to a burning degree, and Grimm, with the help of a magic cloak, can control her form going from a small child to a powerful older version, kinda like All Might. Many people like the direction My Hero goes when the quirk singularity theory is brought up, and having an actual curse and living with it brings up the hard questions like, is being cursed for life really a suitable punishment? Who's in the wrong, the person who gets cursed or the person who did the curse? Some monsters are also sentient, so when does it go from saving people to just killing others? The vibe I got from the series was a mix of My Hero and The Promised Neverland. With time, I could see a little Jujutsu Kaisen influence as it would get darker. But those are just my ideas. I love the series and for some reason, I fell in love with so many manga that end up being cancelled. I really have some bad luck. Dang. Alright, peace.